Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Morning Leap session for Tuesday, August the 22nd, 2017. My name is Doug McKay. I'm the founder of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning we get together in these live go-to sessions to take a look at the market, macro to micro, take a look at the structure of the market. Then we drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses for the day. This is a subscription room. If you're interested in checking it out, send me an email to quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. There's no website, there's no blog. This is not a commercial venture. We do everything live here in the go-to. You will need Skype, so send me a contact request to Doug_McKay. I'll be the one from Windsor, Ontario, Canada. And if you like this video, please like it on my YouTube channel. There's over 600 days of these pre-market sessions on YouTube. So let's just get the disclaimer out of the way. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, and your own risk metrics. Okay, yesterday, bringing up our trade level chart, our main hypothesis yesterday was a rotational day. We were looking for initiative selling down into the 19, possibly down to the lower side of that distribution zone to the 1475. Then we were looking for responsive buyers to step in, rotate us up, and bring us up into the naked VPAC from the prior day and start chopping between 25 and 35. We didn't get as high as the 35 in the RTH session. We did get the rotational day. They just started rotating it at the 29.50 area, and we did go up overnight and hit that 35.50. We actually went a little bit higher, up into 37.25. We're right back in that balance. Again, I didn't trade it very well. I got part of the short, but I missed this long, and I didn't get long again until most of this move happened to the upside. And the reason why is they keep faking out coming into the IB being set, looking for IB expansion and break. It was a profitable day, but again, a couple days in a row where I failed to get the long off of the lower level, and this was our daily downside ATR and our key line in the sand. I should have recognized it. I probably should have got long right here once we got back above the midpoint and the VWAP. I ended up getting long at 24.25, but again, I didn't hold it long enough, and then we just basically chopped around. It is a P-shaped profile. We are seeing weakness still coming into the market. Taking a look at the overnight inventory. Overnight inventory is basically 100% net long, both in time and in price. Pretty good distribution around the 32. Remember that we're right back inside that longer time frame micro composite, and our VPOC for that micro composite, the most traded price, is at 35.50. High overnight 37.25, low overnight 27.50, and we're basically still in this rotational mode. Taking a look at the news, there's not a lot of news today. 9 a.m. Eastern, we've got China's CV leading index and the U.S. HPI month over month, and then 10 o'clock we've got Richmond Manufacturing Index. And that's pretty much it for the news. So not expecting a lot of headline news, scheduled news movement, but we can always see some headline news. So each morning I like to start my day with a basic candlestick chart. I use my paper money. It's got live data on it I use a 9 EMA, 20 SMA. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for slope and separation, where we are within the trend in the different time frames. We've been watching this daily trend line. We have broken below it on the monthly, but we're nowhere near violating the trend yet on the monthly. Going to the weekly, The weekly did give us the inside bar. We were talking about that beginning of this week right here about the possibility of coming down and testing the 9 EMA. We've come down and we've tested the 20, and now we're trading in between the 9 and the 20 and getting an MA squeeze. So this is going to be a decision point. Do we get continuation and get back up over that trend line, or do they violate the longer time frame weekly trend? You can see we're one time framing down so far. Each week has got a lower low and a lower high, so we're starting to one time frame down on the weekly. You can see this again, even better on the daily. Although we have created this technical gap, and we're likely to come up and test. I'm thinking we're probably test that 2440 area. That's going to be the key decision point. But we've broken a very important long time frame trend line that goes, basically right into, November. This is the trend line that the Trump election win created, and now we're below the 9, below the 20. The high of or coming back to the 9 is going to take us up into that 42 area, but we do have the start of possible downward trend on the daily. Going to the intraday, we had a pretty strong trend down, and then the last 2 sessions we're trying to take that back and get back above the 9 and the 20 for another counter rotation up. The 30-minute, basically the same thing. We got a possible cup setting up, so I'm going to be watching this to see, on the smaller time frames if it sets up. And right now we're in consolidation, and we're above the 9 and the 20. Then on the 15-minute, you can see that we've started an upward trend. We do have a naked cross right here at the 31.75 area. But again, I'm watching to see how this starts to set up in terms of a cup and handle formation. And on the 5-minute, you can see that we're coming down to test the trend, challenge the trend, and we could violate it if we get below that 33. But again, just watching to see if this sets up as a cup and handle on the 15 and the 30-minute. Taking a look at the the composite. Where did my composite chart go? Why do my charts keep getting closed down? Hold on a second, I gotta open up this chart. And I need to bring this in. So just a little bit of narration, put in context. We had this balance area. We broke out of the value area high on these 2 days, accepted value higher outside of the value area, creates price discovery. We come up, we create balance and price acceptance at the 57.50. Then we come up into this area. Okay, we try to we go up and we make new high, and then they fail. They come back down to the last price they accepted. Buyers step back in. We go sideways. Then we put in the blow off top. We fall out of balance. Where do we come? We come back down to the last price accepted just before the breakout, and actually come right back to 1 tick in front of the major long-term price acceptance microcomposite VPOC at 35.50. Accept price higher again, gap up, go up to the last place to try to hold value before they fell out, and then we fell and we fail again. We come back down. We said we would not hold this 35.50 if they did not if they came back down to it, because we already picked up the late buyers. They come back down, and they come right back down to the value area low. And now we have 3-day price acceptance at the 29.75. You can see that was a prior 3-day microcomposite VPOC, and we're back trading right back into the thick of this this microcomposite value area, and we are surrounded by the 2440, a value area high, and the 1550 value area low. And in this area of undetermined fair value, this is likely to see more chop again. So we're looking for continued rotation. Probably see a move up to test that 40 level again today. But our main hypothesis is an open auction out of range and a move down to test the range high, probably even come down into the 2750 area, and then get a rotation back up and more chop. The 50% of the significant breakout candle is up at 46. So that is our larger target right now up here. Our key line in the sand above is the 51. 51 gets us 5150 to be exact, gets us above the last fractal high here in the micro composite, and a move towards this 5750 and possibly back up towards the balance that we just fell out of on 2 Thursdays ago and last Thursday. And let's see if we can come back up into this balance and then make a new high. Anything below the 40, look for them to continue to mature the auction in this area with the undetermined fair value at 35.50, 29.50, 27, and 22.75. Key line in the sand does not move. It's still down at 14.75. You see we're one time framing down on the daily RTH session. Media target below the 14.75 is at 11.50, but the key target below is that 24.08 area, and the key psychological support down here near the 2400. So taking our numbers from our overnight session, our overnight, let me just move this over a bit. Our overnight high is up at 37.25. Our overnight low is down at 27.50. We came down overnight and basically bounced right off. And this is something to watch for. And we talked about this in the live QL room, that we shifted the VPOC into the close, and we closed near the high, and that gave us a good indication that they were going to get that continuation in the Globex up into that 35.50. And we went just slightly higher, but we failed to get above that 24.40 area. Our daily ATR 20 period full session average true range is running at 1691. So off of the overnight low of 27.50, our upside daily ATR target is 44.50. That's just below that 50% of the significant breakout candle at 46. Our daily downside ATR target is down here at 24.25, just in front of that prior range low at 1950. And then our overnight VPOC is not likely to shift. It is at 32. Now, we are going to open outside of range. So I don't know where we're going to open in the next 30 minutes, but if it's at 34 and our close was 28.50, our half gap fill is going to be 31.50. That's the approximate half gap fill right now, just simply because we don't know where exactly they're going to open. So we'll have to make the adjustments as we come into the RTH session. And gap rules will be in effect. Now, it's not going to be a huge gap, but what we've got to watch for is the possibility of a gap and go day. So, that's going to be one of our main hypotheses is a gap and go. And if we do not fill that gap within the first 2 hours of the Globex or the RTH session, then the gap is likely not to get filled. I'm not going to go into the statistical probabilities of that, but we watch to see if that gap is not filled, and then we kind of take that out of our trade plan. But our main hypothesis today is an open auction out of range, seeing responsive sellers down into the 2750, between the 2950 and the 2750, possibly even just a takeout of the overnight low, maybe down into where the VPOC was for a good amount of the afternoon and towards the open from yesterday of 24, but somewhere in the 29 to 24 and a quarter area, we're looking for those buyers to step in and rotate us back up towards that 35.50 again, chop around up here in the 35 and make a push up into the 40 area, possibly poke above it and then come back and fail and close back in around this 35.50 to 39.50 area. That is hypo 1. Hypo 2 is going to be our gap and go day, open auction, or I'm sorry, open test drive or an open drive. Failure to close the gap somewhere between the overnight VPOC and the range high from yesterday. Looking for initiative buyers to take control early, push us up into this 40 area, fight the 40 area range high from the other day, and then push up. And our main target is up here in the 44.50, 46 area, and go sideways. Probably come back late in the day and close a little higher. We could get a late day probe up into the key line in the sand above, and that should be 51.50. But not expecting a lot of range today with lack of news. And then hypo 3 is an open auction out of range, a move up, failure to take out the 39.50, 40 area, get outside of that value area, possibly a small little false breakout, but then failure coming down into the 29 to 27 area, chop around here, and then come down and test this key line in the sand again with a possible late day probe down into the 24.08, 11.50 area. That is hypo 3. And then hypo 4 is basically sideways consolidation, chopping between the 25 and the 40 area and just fighting this range high most of the day and having a 8 to 10 point, maybe 12 point range, and just basically going sideways all day. So those are my main hypotheses for ES. Going over to the gold chart, gold failed to hold that 96 area. We said if it didn't hold the 96 area, it would likely come down to the 91 area, 93 to 91. Our target with the move down off of the 96 was 94. And we've come down here and we've basically found buyers again at the 89, which is the 4-day microcomposite value area low. And we're just chopping around this 92. Key yesterday was the failure to get above this fractal high at the 98 and hold. We poked a couple times above and then we failed. So I'm still looking for gold to base here. The key line in the sand you want to pay attention to is if they don't hold the 87. If they don't hold the 87, then they're likely run out of buyers and they've got to advertise price, and they're likely to come down. The first target is 84.50, but more likely to come back down to the 79 to 75. Remember that this 75 is a long time frame VPOC. It is the composite VPOC going all the way back to October the 24th, 2008, and it did shift from 63.10 up to 75 on that Tuesday that we talked about in the Globex, and we were looking for that basing pattern for a run into the 1302. This is a pretty strong rejection of price into the 1300s right now. We've come back $20. We're likely to chop around here, base, and give it one more run to the 1310, 1312 area. But if we can't hold that 87, I'm looking for a bigger rotation back, and anywhere in the neighborhood of that, 38 to $40, which can take us a little bit back lower to near that composite, and maybe even all the way back down to the 63 again, because this was where the longer time frame price acceptance was before it shifted a couple Tuesdays ago. Anyway, that's going to complete our pre-market session. We do this each morning live for our members. I've had the room open for the last few days. I have to close the room down in order to get the recording to put it up on the YouTube channel. But if you want to come back in, I'll be posting on Twitter the link to the live room. We do live market analysis during the course of the trading day in the go-to again once I reopen the room. Anyway, trade well, trade safe, and we will catch you on the flip side.